Hey, hello, thank you for pressing play. My name is Tillman. Earlier this year, I talked with my guest for a series called Never Heard It, where we talked about Easy Does It by Easy E. You can go check that out if you haven't already. And in that interview, he told me that he had a few projects in the works for 2021. One of those was Why Are You Like This, which is a collaborative album he did with Portland artist Young Shirtman, which was released back in April. We also talked about a solo project he had coming. Well, that album has come to fruition with the release of What Are You Afraid Of? So here to talk to me about that project is the one and only Mat Randol. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, Tillman, man? What's going on, brother? Great to talk with you again.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll just jump right into it. You put out Waylit with Surety earlier this year, and that project, for lack of a better term, it was a little more, I guess, jovial. Than this project. This one is a little more serious. And I was wondering, like, did you put those albums, like, were you writing at the same time, like both of those, or did you like set time apart to do one or the other?
Yeah. So it's funny how that worked out because in the process of working on Waylit, Shirt was living with me. So like that's kind of how we even started to get the album going in the first place. But there were times where he might not want to create or he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of started penning some things down. I had got some of the beats early on, some of those songs on the album, like When It All Started, the intro, Some of Our Fears, Spiritual Warfare, all those songs I had those beats for a long time, but like something made me want to go back and write to them, and I was in the right space of mind, you know what I mean? And I was just creating nonstop. So it was just a good time to go back to those and get them done. But like really after we dropped Waylit is when I finished the album. I did like 4 or 5 more songs, and yeah, it just came to light. Initially I wanted to drop it back in June, but I didn't ever say nothing about it. I wanted to drop it on Father's Day because it was actually the first day of summer. So I wanted to drop it then, but it wasn't quite ready. So August 6th came, and that was a good date. And now here we are.
Cool. I want to say, like, you have a bunch of dope producers on this album, but one of them I want to talk about. One in particular is Solomon. He produced 4 tracks on this album, but he's also, in addition to a music producer, he's also listed as the executive producer on the album. So I wanted to know what that entailed, like how that came about, how he became the executive producer.
Yeah, man. So I think it came about literally when I threw a album release / birthday party, because we dropped Waylit on my birthday. And there was a little party there in my man Branch's Flight Lounge Cafe. And we were there. Stu came, and I remember I was like, it's pretty messed up that night, but I was feeling confident. And I remember like we was talking like, man, we haven't like got any work done. I've known him for a long time, and we haven't really gotten anything tangible, like as far as like music that's been put out or whatnot, in a long time. So I did a joint for his album that's coming out. So I was like, man, it'd be dope to involve you on this album. And I was like, hey man, it'd be cool if you executive produced it. And when I say that, it's like I wanted his ear. So, I wanted him to tell me what I have, if he liked what I have, what could be worked on, just being more open into allowing someone else to be a part of my process, because usually it's just me. So, having a producer as the executive producer, I felt like it would just bring the album around more full circle and make it more full. So that's when he was like, yeah, I want to do like 4 joints on this. So he sent me all those 4 songs like maybe a week after that party, and then I just started knocking them out. And the album was done, I want to say like in May. So like from the time me and him linked up, that a month later it was done. And then it was just all about getting it mixed and thinking of different content pieces and thinking who I want to speak with about it, and all that other stuff that comes after. So
so on this album, you do talk about a lot of things that maybe you didn't talk about before, like being insecure in relationships, or your time in Chicago, or not using protection when maybe you should have. This is your first full length solo album since 2018. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to ask, like, was there something in particular that happened between that time and now, aside from a global pandemic,
Yeah.
that made you want to talk about those things that maybe you were afraid of to talk about before?
Yeah. I mean, so I kind of started this journey with my first project, Alignment. Now it's 2015. And I decided, like, at first, I thought that was just going to be my one and done. I was going to put all of my thoughts and feelings into um, this one record and then be done with music. It's pretty dramatic or whatnot, way of thinking or whatnot. But I decided I wanted to kind of create a narrative, so I did that next year. I did a project with Snugsworth called Libero, which means free. And I felt like I was freeing myself from the topics I was talking about on Alignment, just struggling, like being a first time, parent, struggling with things that were going on in my mom and my grandma's house, you know what I'm saying? And just like finding different ways to, I guess, like vent. So then I freed myself from that on Libero. I was talking like more political stuff. A lot of things were happening with like Sandra Bland. Felt like I had to speak on it then. Took 2017 off. But towards the end of 2017 is when I started working on Art of Allowing. I was like, all right, it's time to like make an album. And I wanted that to be my debut album. So September 2018, I dropped that. And then I think it was like Thanksgiving, man, I decided I wanted to drop several projects in a year. So I remember I go on Instagram just announcing that I'm gonna do 4 projects and whatnot. And I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't have anything done. But I decided pretty quickly, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna work with one producer. Hopefully they send me a pack that has like 4 or 5 solid joints or whatever. And by grace of God, that happened. So I did Calhoun, dropped that January 1st with Elliot. Did Aries EP with my man Nappy Notes, who's from Pennsylvania. That came out April. Then I did 3-song EP called Say What You Feel. That dropped in July. And that was produced by Kiel and Dart and Cali. And then I did the band project Stress with Harvey Bird, Jesus, and Sernai, my DJ. And I was like, fuck, started a band. I was just like trying to be all over the place and have a bunch of different creative outlets. And, the pandemic hit with, 2020, but, that got me and Shirty working, did our album, and then created mine. And still working. I'm working on more shit. Like, I just feel like I'm at this place now where I'm able to create constantly, but it's actually good stuff. So, it's just a blessing to be on this run. I've always tried to find a creative zone, and I think I found it now. So
cool. So let's talk about the actual album. On the intro, I just want to talk about like where does that they talk about like not being afraid to chase your dreams. Basically, is what it's about. So where does that come from? What is that? Is that a conversation that you had, or did you pull it from something else? Or
it's crazy because like the intro is basically me holding myself accountable. So like I'm like essentially shouting at myself, what are you afraid of? What are you made of? Like those first 4 those bars are like me asking myself what I'm afraid of, challenging myself. And then like, I'm saying nights I stayed up, didn't really say much. Like I'm kind of giving the listener like a insight of how my mind works and stuff like that. This music stuff, I love music, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's put a lot of stress and burden on my life. Cause like when you go, you have a dream and you have a drive for something, you go so hard for it. And then when things don't move as fast as you want them to, put you in a depression. You know what I'm saying? So I go back and forth with how I feel about this. So like, I kind of speak from a place where, just a real human, real relatable perspective of like, what is, I don't want to, I guess, hide the process. A lot of people mention, they'll be like, yeah, this happened. And yeah, I blew up overnight, but that's not how it works, So I just pride myself on speaking on the real experience of a person that's actively pursuing a career in music. Is hard. It's very, a difficult thing to do, but it's a drive of mine, and I want to be known as someone that wants to keep continuing what I love doing and getting better at it. And I feel like with my whole journey thus far, you can hear the growth in each and everything I do, not even just project wise, but song wise. You know, I'm just getting more comfortable and letting go of, you know, any fear I have. You know, that's why I felt like What Are You Afraid Of is a great title. And it's like I'm at a place in my life where I'm asking myself that question a lot. And I'm just breaking down barriers and things that might have plagued me before, you know, and I'm just living more free.
Yeah, who is that talking at the beginning of?
Kobe Bryant.
Oh, that's Kobe. I didn't even notice that.
So like, you know, what's crazy is it was the Hall of Fame when he was getting inducted to Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine had did this like photo dump, video dump of Kobe Bryant. You know, just because they were like, you know, he's getting enshrined, you know, and then just had all these different slides. And I just happened to click on one, and it was that interview. And like he was talking about fear, and I was like, man, that shit is so dope. So I found it. I clipped up that one, and then I spliced when he said, what am I afraid of? That was from a different one. So I just kind of put that there, and it was perfect because initially I was gonna start the album coming right in. What are you afraid of? What are you? But I just felt like those words were just so strong, and like the intro's the thesis, I feel like, of your album, man.
Yeah.
So I feel like I summed everything up in that track, you know, and then I just let the rest of the album unfold with things, you know, insecure and like spiritual warfare is about me, like, you know, struggling with my belief, you know what I'm saying? You know, just a lot of different things, find your dream, all these things. So I just found different ways to break fear down.
Yeah. So I want to talk about some of the features that you have on this album, and number one I want to talk about is on Up to You. You got Westside Boogie. So please tell me how that came about.
So when I mentioned I did the Say What You Feel EP, those are his producer and his engineer, and I've known them for a long time. And I've never, like, I'm one of those people that I never publicize it, but I know a lot of people that know people in the industry, and like, you know, because honestly that doesn't benefit me in any way. Like it's just like, it's cool to know, and I've had interactions and brush ups with legends, people that are coming up, like all sorts of little things that, you know, it's cool to think about, and, you know, something to tell your kids about one day or whatnot. But that was a situation where I did that record way back in December. Initially that almost was on the Waylit, and Surety never wrote a verse to it. And like we came up with the verse and the hook that night. So all that had been done since December. And I just remember I had it. I sent it to a couple artists that I won't name. You know, y'all should have got on it, but whatever. It's cool. Respect. But like, I remember I was like sitting there and I was like, man, I'm going to just like try it. You know, I just thought, I was like, who would be good on here? And then I was like, fuck it. Let me just put in this call. You know, I've never like asked them for anything, you know, other than shit, let's work. You know what I'm saying? Let's be cool. But then I just hit Dart and I was like, hey man, I got this record that I think Boog would sound good on. He's like, bet, send it over. I sent it to him. They were in Atlanta. I sent it over at like 6:30 and they sent it back at like 9:00 that night. And I was like, wow. You know, and he really killed it, and he did everything I thought he would do. You know, I think it's like when you do songs with people that have a status, I think it's really important to like meet them where they're at, and just like, you know, it's just about finding the right record. It's funny because like I actually hung out with him. I don't know, it was like 2017, 2018. He was on tour with Joey Badass and Buddy, and they were here. We're backstage, and like I got pretty faded that night, and my boy Hash, he told me like that next day, he was like, yeah, man, you remember what he said? He wanted to do a song with you? I was like, no, what? Really? So I was just like, fuck, why did I get so faded like that? I wish I could remember that. But it's just funny how, like, you know, things come full circle, you know, found the right record, got him on there. He sent it back real quick. So yeah, you know, shout out to Westside Boogie, man. He did his thing. Shit was dope.
Dope. All right, and another feature that you have on there is the one only Knox.
Yes,
You got him on the hook for
I did.
when it all started. So how
Yeah.
was that like a natural thing? Like, did he ask to be on it? Did you ask him? Did it just like what?
Yeah,
How did that come
it's
about?
funny, man. Yeah, so basically, like where that came from was I
And Knox
I
is your son for anybody that doesn't
yeah,
know
my
yet.
son, exactly. Yeah, Knox Randol, that's my guy. So basically, what happened was I'm in the car like I am right now, and I was just driving around to the album. I listen to it every day because I believe it or not, I write while I'm in motion because I'm in traffic a lot of the day. So I'm writing, thinking of things. So I'm playing the album, and I hear him in the back seat, man, and he's humming along with everything. He's like he catches melody. Like I hear him back there singing the songs, like he's
Mm-hmm.
like he learned the hook for Up to You singing it back there, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So like I heard him just doing that, and I was like, man, I'm gonna like try it one day. I was like, hey man, I got this song if you wanna try it, what I'm saying, if you wanna sing
Mm-hmm.
along. So I just told him what to do, and yeah, we just put the headphones on, and he caught it. I didn't have to nudge it over or anything. That's why I was proud. Like even though it was one of those things where he's listening, and then it comes on, he's like la la. Like it was funny as hell. Like I got the video of him where it's just like la la la. I was like, hey, but he still caught it. So I was like really proud moment. And then he starts getting extra, and he was just like, man, what can I say words? What I learn how to read some words. So it was just one of those things where it was special. Just added another layer because I think I had did my la la's at first, so that's why he was singing along with it, and I was like, man, it'd be dope if he was on there. So yeah, like that's a great song. Shout out to Saint, who like I started making music with. He kind of stopped making music, and it was funny because I actually got 4 bars from him, and I was like, cool, I'll take them 4 bars, bro. And he's my son's goddad, so that's cool. And then Selah he's from Texas, but he lives in Seattle. I got him on my album twice because he's just that damn good. And he killed it too. So like, yeah, it's just a great song produced by Kid Specs from LA. So yeah.
So yeah, Knox gonna be spitting on your next album.
Man, that's what I'm
You
saying.
gonna give him
Like
a
he
16.
went on AOA. He went from talking, like I had him talk on like 2 songs, to he doing a little layer. So yeah, next thing he might be on some shit.
You never know. You never know. Another feature is I'm not familiar with him, but Brielle.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
I'm
say
actually
about it. Like
I'm
like
actually in the studio with them right now.
yeah. I mean, he killed his verse. He also he appeared on the last album too. He appeared on the Waylit too. Was it
Yeah, he was on Waylit. Yeah, exactly.
He was
He was
on You
sitting
Know the
on there.
Vibes. He's on You
Yep,
Know the Vibes. Yeah.
yep. Yeah, Brill, man. He's
Yeah.
him and Milk, they're part of a group called Low B. I've been fans of Low B for a long time. And like, they have their group, but then they do solo shit on the side. And I don't know, I just had the Say About Me record, and I just heard him on there. And like, yeah, when he sent the verse over, I was like, man, killed it.
Yeah,
Killed it.
absolutely.
We performed it at Thesis for the first time back in July. I just wanted to get like a little temperature check from the crowd, get people hyped for the album. So it was dope to have him, like he has some vocal cord surgeries and shit, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm just happy that the man could make music still, talk, let alone. So, this was just great to have him on there. You know what I'm saying? We got a bunch of home team people on there, so it's dope.
Yeah. There's a bunch of great songs on here. One I want to talk about is Trepidation.
Yeah.
There's one line when you say, "Didn't know my dad, but knew
Yeah.
he was proud of the dad that I am," which is a take that I'm not sure I've ever heard anyone quite take that avenue. Most of the time, it's "I don't know my dad, I hate my dad." Generally,
Yeah.
that's usually how that goes. But like, not only did
Oh
you
man.
say, but you said you feel like he would be proud of the dad that you are.
Bro, I appreciate you asking this because like that could easily be taken out of context. So for some context, I knew my dad. I met my dad. I've been around him several times. But when I say I didn't know him, it's because I didn't know him. I met him when I was 9 years old. For circumstances, whatever. But then he almost immediately was diagnosed with cancer, and he had prostate cancer and it spread. So, and back then I was just so shocked because I grew up a certain way with my mom and my grandma. So then I just realized I have this whole like African American side of my family that I'm just like, I got brothers, I got a sister, I got like all these cousins, uncles, aunties, and it was just so overwhelming that I was just that. What are you afraid of? I was afraid to like. I never had a heart-to-heart talk with him, and like for him to explain to me what happened or why he wasn't there, I didn't never have that. So the reason why I say I didn't know my dad because I didn't know him well enough. You know, like I should have, and I feel like, you know, if I wasn't so afraid to ask, or but I was 9, 10 years old, I was a young kid, so it was just one of those things where I didn't know him well enough, but I know who he is, and I never want to disrespect him. You know, I miss my pops more than words can say. You know, I wish, that's why I go so hard as being a parent, because it's often happens where if your father wasn't involved in your life, you kind of fall in that path and you kind of become someone that's not close to their kid. But I wanted to break that cycle down. You know what I mean? I wanted I didn't want my son to ever question who I am. I never wanted him to wonder what I looked like, how I was. Those are things that I felt. So, and I feel like when I said, but I know he's proud of the dad that I am, because he was a great father. You know what I'm saying? Like he raised my brothers who like they came and they raised me. They looked out for me whenever I need. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he did a great job, and I hear nothing but positive things about my dad. You know, he's a good man. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said that. It's like, you know, and you're right. No one does. They don't really approach it like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I felt like it was important for me to say that because, you know, I just feel like there are certain people up in heaven pulling strings for me, man. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not him, it's my grandfather who died a month after he died. And it like really rocked my world. I was about to enter into high school. So like it really changed my perspective of like this whole man thing, you know? So I struggled trying to figure out what it was to be a man, because you need that male support, you know? So I leaned heavy on my brothers and stuff, and my friends, just being around them. And I had friends who were fathers early, you know? So, you know, I just pull from all sorts of angles for inspiration. So, you know, that line was definitely important. And I feel like, you know, I just didn't want my family to be misconstrued that line. So, you know, I'm glad that you asked that. It's not a shot at my pops ever, because I talk about when it all started. You know, I remember when it all started back in the day when me and my pops first party. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like that, you know, I felt a void. That's why I say I felt a void, like postpartum. Like postpartum is like when after you give birth, you know, for a woman, after she gives birth, she could fall into a depression. So like I definitely fell into this hole where I was just, and there's a void that was left. So, you know, that line is real heavy. So I appreciate you asking about that.
Did that have anything to do with you initially wanting to put it out on Father's Day, or was that just a coincidence?
You know, it's crazy because it just like what I was doing was with Libero and Art of Allowing, I was dropping them the first day of each season because they're called equinoxes. So it was a tribute to Knox, right? So I wanted to keep that going, that trend going. But like, you know, having Stu in my corner, he helped me secure a little situation with Kenny Fresh, and like he helped like push the album, and you know, all those things wouldn't have happened if I didn't like listen to someone else and take time to get it mixed and mastered by someone else. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I wanted to drop it, and I was a little disappointed because I wanted to keep that trend going. But, you know, I felt like ultimately it was the best thing to do, to push it back and drop it when it was ready. So, yeah, you know, it would have been dope to definitely put something out on Father's Day. Maybe that's something I'll do down the line.
Cool. And also, that's another song with Celeb on the hook, who was definitely giving me Marvin Gaye vibes.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. So, like, when he sent that over, initially it was funny because, like, I did my vocals on another beat, but Solomon like reproduced that song. He reproduced Trepidation, and he reproduced Let's Have Fun While We're Here. So those are 2 songs. I had them on different beats, but he heard them, was like, bro, send me the vocals. I got you. So like, you know, initially I had the verse and the hook already, but it fit. And then like there was space, and Melk was over one day, and we're like, fuck it, you get on here too. He wrote his verse right there, killed it. You know,
yeah, Milk killed his verse too.
All my features, like, they all fit the theme of the album. They all came through for me, didn't slack. It was a beautiful thing.
So at the beginning of the song "Find Your Dreams," you say you do kind of a Jay-Z thing where you say the NBG broke up.
Yeah.
So that's a New Beginning Global, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about like that situation?
Yeah, so basically, man, you asked all the good questions. See, I knew you would. So basically, man, what happened was I you know, a couple years ago, NBG was like a big collective. You know, I wanted to be on some Wu-Tang shit. So I felt like the best thing to do would just be, I recruited people from like all different types of crews. Oh shoot, my bad. I recruited like all these different people, and like they all just kind of was fucking with what I stood for and what it stood for. And I felt like we were doing, like, you know, it was trending in the right direction. Then, you know, things happen. People want to go off, do their own thing, or, you know, arguments happen, fallouts happen. So, you know, that was kind of me, like, because people ask me from time to time what happened, and like, why is it that you're like basically the flagship only person right now? Is because I was like, you know, I felt like it was a good time to reset. It basically, bro, it's just essentially like me telling people, you know, for anyone that asked, you know what I'm saying? It's like, NBG break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with Glove. It's like it was kind of like a overview of what's happened. It's been a couple years since like some of those relationships were I guess not unreconcilable. Maybe it'll happen at some point. I don't want to forecast and never say never, but you know, it was just a thing where I felt like I had to shed light on it a little bit, and you know, I kept it moving at that. But NBG is never gonna die because that's something I created. It's more of a lifestyle brand. You know, it's something that me and my friends that don't even really make music, I just happen to be like the guy that really loves music. So NBG is a representation of us, you know what I'm saying? So it's never gonna die, you know, in that regard. But like, as far as having a bunch of people on the label, you know, like I might not do it like that. You know, I got a couple of people and they'll be dropping soon, but you know, I think I just need to keep it more contained, you know, and like, but I appreciate that time period though. And it was good memories and everything like that. So, you know, all love to everybody that was involved, but we just moving forward.
Cool. So let's talk about the album cover. What was the decision to have you smiling on the cover?
All right. So basically what happened was the house that I grew up in was tore down earlier this year in March. So like my what I told my boy Rob Lewis, he's designed all of the album covers, like for the albums, not the EPs, not the Waylit, but like for my solo projects, he's done every single one. So I reached out to bro, and you know, just trying to think of like what we were gonna do. And then he hit me one day. I was like, bro, let's just do a photo shoot. I think like this album should be a picture with you on it in some way. So we went and took pictures. I was like, all right, let's go to where the house was. So like we took pictures like in the wreckage and the rubble and everything like that. Took pictures there, and then I remember we went off of Willamette, and there's this view like where you could see like the city in the background. So I took some of those pictures there too. But like there was this bush. I don't know why the fuck, like he was just like, bro, let's get you up in the bush, like the Homer Simpson meme where he just, you know, he's like, let's get you up in the bush and like cheesing, like you just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get you on there doing that. And I was like, all right, well shit, fuck it. Like, you know, that wasn't part of the plan, but let's do it. And then that's how things happen sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like the album cover represents that monkey getting off my back, or that weight, that whatever was on me, you know what I'm saying? It's like me releasing that and smiling, because a lot of people say like, man, you haven't been smiling much. I hadn't had much to smile about. So, and I just feel like it's such a dope juxtaposition, because I feel like, what are you afraid of? People are gonna think, oh, here you go being emo again. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, here we go. It's gonna be serious. So like the album cover just like brings that lighthearted. Like I made it. I did. I saved my family. I got them out of that house which was overrun with fucking rats. Like it was crazy, bro. So like, I had to put all that out there, and it was uncomfortable asking for help. But, it was very important for me to show progress. So that album cover is just like me with sheer joy. Like I did it. I accomplished like my biggest goal.
Cool.
So, it's a great album cover, man. I think it's just like, that's what I want to be. My goal is to be more happy. So
cool. All right. So before I let you go, is there anything that I missed? Anything else you want to talk about with the album?
Man, bro, appreciate you, man. I reached out to you. I felt like you'd asked great questions, and I'm not, I'm not disappointed, bro. Can't wait for this to go live. Shit, man. If y'all haven't heard it, What Are You Afraid Of?
Is there going to be any merch?
Spotify.
Any merch or any?
I'm gonna do a merch line. I still got a lot of content. I'm gonna do like visuals, dropping a documentary. Like a lot of things are coming. And I'm already working on shit, man. Started this new collective called Home Team with Brielle, Milk, Mal, London, Surety, Manny Monday, and some other cats. So we're working on music, and I'm about to actually go back in there and get going on it. So that's coming too. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep working, bro.
All right,
staying safe, staying out the way.
Yeah, all right. So What Are You Afraid Of? In stores now, everywhere. Go check it out. It's definitely one of my favorites of the year so far.
Thank you, bro.
So thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. And I'll talk to you later, man.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
Where's my Issa Rae? I feel like God playing keep away. Pull up fresh on her like Easter Day. If we don't talk every day, yeah, I feel away. I'm insecure. I'm insecure. I'm insecure. I'm insecure. Yeah. Where's my Issa Rae? I feel like God playing keep away. Pull up fresh on her like Easter Day. If we don't talk every day, yeah, I feel away. I'm insecure. I'm insecure. I'm insecure. I'm insecure. First step is admitting right. I don't like niggas around you. I don't, yeah. Something they sit and ride, but I'm so glad that I found you. If it's so difficult reaching